What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to our realistic rebuild of the Cincinnati Bengals. I want to thank everybody for your patience. I know I haven't had an episode here in about a week, but hopefully that gave everyone some time to catch up and enjoy what was an epic Super Bowl run here. So here's how this is going to go. First off, please do hit that like button, by the way. But we're going to do one more full season here, and then I'm going to be converting this franchise into a continuation of what will hopefully be a dynasty on my Twitch. So make sure you're following twitch.tv/thatfranchiseguy. And then probably going to take a break from the offline series until after my wedding and honeymoon and holidays and all that stuff, and pick up a new series in January most likely. So that's the plan here. Let's get into our final offseason, I suppose, as an offline recording of this series. And that's going to start with our resign stage here. So as most championship teams have to endure, we are set to lose some players here, but it's not going to close our window. I think we have a little bit of cap space as we head into the offseason, about $12 million. So we are going to have to make some pretty big sacrifices, but hopefully so that opens the door for some young players to step up. I would say defensive tackle is becoming a very glaring need this offseason. We're going to have to let both DJ Reader and BJ Hill go. So that's going to be a big focus. We also have an opening on the interior of the offensive line because Jason Kelsey is done. We could potentially bring him back. I don't know if that's smart for us or not. Also, Super Bowl MVP Bryce Callahan is also going to be hitting the market. So those are some pretty big losses there. Tyler Boyd also had a great Super Bowl run. We're not going to be able to afford him. Unfortunately, we're not going to be getting any compensatory draft picks for letting these guys go. Thanks, EA, on that one. But let's see if there's any smaller level roster guys we want to bring back. You know, Donald Parham is not a piece I want to lose. That price tag's a little bit much for us right now. I want to take a look at him in the open market. But for the most part, I think we're actually just going to let all these guys go. I like Akeem Davis-Gaither, but again, that asking price a little bit too much. So we are going to roll the dice into free agency. I suppose we can look at where we can clear some cap space. I think I will wait actually until we get to the next advance to do that. And then the mock draft is up as well. We're obviously going to be at the bottom of the first round, but let's just see who they think we'll be selecting. A running back, Danny Rich. I don't think so. Not with the season Joe Mixon had last year. But let's go ahead and advance. And the first thing I want to do here is take a look at just kind of our roster as a whole, just to kind of remind ourselves a little bit where we need to fill in some spots, but also potentially clear up some cap space. I actually don't mind our running back situation behind Mixon. We got a receiving back in Evans and a power back in Jawara Cook in the last year of his deal, who has been developing nicely here. As far as the receiver situation goes, you know, some of these practice squad call-ups are a little expensive. I don't mind Quez Watkins for 1.45 just to have that speed there. And then I also like Alexander Dixon. So we're actually really set at receiver. Steve Culver here at $1 million. I might consider releasing him on that contract. And then on the offensive line, we're probably not going to have any easy cuts here. I do want to move Jacob Guerrero over to center. That has been the long-term plan here. We drafted him at center. He learned under Kelsey and now is going to slide over. And that means either Jeff Atkinson in year 2 can step in there, or maybe Deontay Smith, Ron Truman. We have been addressing that position. Even Trey Hill potentially could slide over. We have options. We could certainly upgrade, but that's not the worst weak link to have. I really wanted to let Sam Hubbard go this year. I think we have plenty of talent at that position. So although we take a $4 million penalty, we do clear $6 million in cap space, and we just don't really have a need for Hubbard anymore. We could potentially trade him. I could see him being a good fit here for the Falcons, who do need a pass rusher off the edge. So let's see, maybe a 4th round pick for Hubbard would be realistic here. They accepted it. I'm going to go ahead and fix that for the Falcons so that they have their left outside linebacker because they are 3-4 front. So good to get something for him for sure. And then defensive tackle, we got Tyler Shelvin there. He's a good nose tackle. I'm prepared to let him have a big contract year for us. But obviously, as I've said, that defensive tackle spot's going to be a huge need. It is worth noting we have Cam Sample, who is a good interior rusher for us. So we're not completely screwed on the inside, but we do need some more pieces there. And then we're also going to be leaning on, Christian Lynch and Larry Dwyer, who we've drafted over the last couple of years with some athleticism to play that base outside linebacker. Cornerback, Kelvin Ware had a great playoff run, but we don't know if we want to lean on him in the slot or not necessarily. And then our safety situation is still very good. So the roster is still in very good shape. I would say defensive tackle, offensive guard are going to be our primary focuses. So let's take a look at free agency. Doesn't look like any super heavy hitters are hitting the market this year. It is worth noting that Tyler Boyd doesn't have any offers. Our playoff hero, I wouldn't entirely rule out a reunion there. Running back, I feel very good about our situation, as with wide receiver. Tight end, I think I'm going to make an offer for Donald Parham for less than he's asking for. But he played well when called upon last season. So we're going to make him an offer. It's CJ Uzama. Not getting any younger there. So Parham doesn't mind the offer. And then on the offensive line, as I mentioned, guard is something we could consider. Jake Matthews could be a one-year kind of Band-Aid option to slide into guard. You've got Ben Barch getting a lot of offers there. John Runyon, not a bad piece. I think we could probably actually get something on the inside here. We have about $16 million in cap space, so I think that's smart. We could even bring Kelsey back and put Guerrero back at guard for another season. It's not a bad plan. So let's... You know what? I like that idea. If Kelsey wants to keep playing, I'm going to give him a little bit less than that. I'm going to give him $5 million flat, and that would allow Guerrero to stay at guard. And then we still have some money to add either a slot corner or a defensive tackle. So Akeem Hicks could be a veteran Band-Aid there. A'Shawn Robinson. Even, DJ Reader not receiving any offers. I don't mind offering to bring DJ Reader back. He's a huge piece, literally, on the inside. I wonder if he would take less, considering his market. His market isn't as high as maybe he thought. So that'd be fun to get him back. And then our Super Bowl MVP also not getting any offers. We need that slot corner. $4 million. It's a good price tag for him. So let's start there and see if we can just kind of get the band back together, if you will. And let's go ahead and advance. All right, we're starting in the trenches. Reader and Kelsey, those are our two big needs. We bring back some of our favored veterans here. Let's go ahead and put Guerrero back at guard, and our offensive line is in great shape for another season. And our two offers to Parham and Callahan still stand. So we can just leave those and advance again. Pretty basic free agency, but we know we like these guys. And it's not easy to retain talent like this when you're a Super Bowl team. Okay, we got Callahan. Parham's going to be our last target. Maybe we can increase that offer to Darnell Parham a little bit. Private workouts are in session. We get to pick some pieces, so we can go in a lot of different directions here. I think I want to look at cornerback here. Got Devontae Whitfield, 65% scouted. Our scouts like him. He's been skyrocketing. So let's check him out. Unfortunately, we can't see their workout grades from this screen. And as I've learned, if you back out, you miss out. So I don't want to do that. Let's take a look at, I guess, Bobby Witherspoon. And then what about a defensive tackle? I think Joel Perkins is calling my name here. So those are going to be our three private workouts, knowing we're not going to get an epic prospect picking at the bottom of the first round. We should get those results next week. We're going to pay a little bit closer attention to where we might be going next advance. But I want to perhaps increase our offer to Donald Parham here. Hopefully he likes this a little bit more. We'll see. So we're going to advance. And we got Donald Parham. Let's go. That's a great little free agency, man. About $15 million in cap space. We picked up a 4th round pick. That's a very successful championship offseason right there. Let's maybe examine a little bit more about who we can maybe pinpoint for our draft upcoming here. So obviously cornerback is going to be a top need here. This Bobby Witherspoon's only 5'9". He's very quick, but he's not necessarily fast. I probably won't be drafting him. He's the number 1 corner. But Devontae Whitfield was a personal workout for us. He's projected to go end of the first, early second, probably first because of there's not a lot of great guys at this position. He's not super fast, but he's a good athlete in general. He's got good size, but not a good man corner, which is something we like to run a lot of. So he's probably out as well. Denzel Murray is 6'2", C-man coverage, a little more physical, a little faster. I do like him. That could be a potential round 2 target there. And then our scouts like these two guys. They're both 6'1", not good in man coverage, but a great athlete, at least good speed. So it could be a day 3 target. Dom Tillman, excellent athlete. C-man coverage. I really like this guy. Good catching. Looks for the ball. He might be someone we want to reach for, honestly. Alani Akins has F-man coverage. Not a great athlete. I think we'll want to stay away from him. JD Polite at 6'3". Excellent 40 time. We don't know much about his coverage, but I'm going to add him. And then let's look at one more, another 6'3", Tashawn Thorne, dope name. He's got D-man coverage, F zone, so he's a project, but a heck of a project. Ran a 4.38 at his pro day. So we're probably not getting any day 1 starters at corner here, but maybe some intriguing, lengthy, prospects. And as far as the offensive line goes, this is something we'll probably just look at on draft day, honestly. But certainly could be looking at another guard or something. This guy's only 21. He's got my attention for sure. We don't necessarily have to kick our left guard back into center when we do eventually lose Kelsey. We could potentially add a different center. Looks like there's a couple good ones in this draft. And then what about tight end? It's not a true strength for us. Looks like we got a super thick 6'3", 267, round 2, round 3, 4.64 40 time. He's a decent run blocker, a run block finesse. I like this guy, Jamichael Clement, and kind of fits that Jonnu Smith mold of just fast, sturdy, big tight end. Here's another one, 21 years old out of Auburn. Really good run blocking, great athlete. Okay, so he's 21. He's also 6'3", 274. Man, interesting size profiles there, EA, but whatever. Thanks, EA. Then defensive tackle, Alex Buchanan seems like a beast, but I doubt we're going to be able to get him. 6'1", really great athlete. B power moves. I mean, he should be like our top prospect, but he's way at the top of the draft. We're not going to be able to get him. Joel Perkins, we have 100% scouted. He is a round 1 to 2 talent. He is a good athlete, and he's a good pass rusher. Our scouts aren't crazy about him, but I think we could be fine taking him at the end of the first if he were there. And then James Thurston is 21. He's out of Stanford. He's a great athlete. He's not as good of a pass rusher. We don't know his block shedding, but there's some options there. even as we look down into the second round. It's a pretty deep defensive tackle class. So we've got a little bit of ammunition going into draft day. Probably not going to make any trades here, but let's get to the draft. And I'm going to skip up to about the 20th pick. I'm not going to make any blockbuster trades here, but if there's someone we like... Isn't this the third quarterback the Ravens have drafted in this? Just ridiculous. Thanks, EA. A lot of quarterbacks going early in this class. That bodes well for us because we've got our quarterback. Now offensive lineman. Our defensive tackle just went to be the running mate to DeForest Buckner for the Colts. I was starting to think about maybe moving up for him, but he did go. So at 20, the number 1 guard is still there. Damian Peterson out of Virginia Tech. He's 21 years old. He's a great athlete. We don't have him evaluated enough for me to feel comfortable moving up for him, however. A lot of running backs at the top here. Joel Perkins, who we like, is still there, but I think I'm willing to risk with the depth at that position in this class that he is there for us. We could consider a sweet linebacker as well. We have some guys we like there, but they're not superstars, so that's another piece. If he's there, we could think about it. But just getting a look at that, I don't think we need to trade up, so we're going to sim to our pick. And the guard is still there. Certainly interesting. Now, the linebacker and the defensive tackle went. So we like some of these other options later in the draft. This guy's a physical freak. Raphael Redmond. Rashawn Glass, maybe not so much. Matt Hodges seems like a little more of a run stopper, which we don't necessarily need. He's actually, he's a really good athlete. It says he uses speed to power to bull rush, so he does have some power to him. That might be the front runner right there. 6'5", 302. He's a really good athlete, which I always like. The corners I wasn't excited about. The only other, interesting piece would be this offensive lineman here, who, if we could hit on him, that's game-changing, because then our offensive line is in just excellent shape. We have a good mentor to develop in Kelsey and Guerrero. He's got a hot motor, avoids getting flagged. I think this is the pick right here out of Virginia Tech. We're going to draft him. Normal dev. Bummer. Was hoping for that hidden dev. That's the big kicker. Now, we do have an extra 4th-round pick. I feel pretty confident, though, in the direction we're going to go. I think we're going to go DT, corner, and tight end. So I'm going to skip to our pick because I feel pretty good about getting a player we want. Got Rashawn Glass. Might be our last best bet for a defensive tackle. Although Trent Dane actually is one of the freakiest athletes in this class. He has B awareness out of Vanderbilt. It's a little bit smaller, but look at those testing numbers, man. Okay. He actually looks pretty sweet. We do have to wait till the end of next round before we pick again. I really like Matt Pickens out of Auburn. And then the corners, we weren't blown away by this group, but those guys are still there. So I think what we're going to do is grab Trent Dane here. We're going to see if we can get the tight end at the end of next round. Hidden dev. All right. That makes up for the 1st-round pick. They were not kidding about his athleticism. Hopefully he can develop quickly and has good pass rush moves, but that's a sweet pick. All right, can we get that tight end? Matt Pickens is the pick. Hidden dev. Look at us. A run block. Excited to see what he comes out as. Hell of a start. He's got a little Delaney Walker to him. 6'3", great run blocker. And then we do pick again in the 4th. This is where I'm going to target one of those corners. There is, however, an offensive tackle that our scouts like a lot out of Florida State. I don't know why they like him so much. He was a projected 1 to 2 round guy, but he's not really good at anything. So I'm going to actually let him keep falling. We do have a pretty freaky outside linebacker here, Cordell Stills, round 2-3 projection. Our scouts like him from what they've seen from him. He's a good athlete, 4.6 40 time. It might be smart to take him now and gamble that we can get one of these corners later. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to take the outside linebacker now. Cordell Stills out of LSU. 84 speed. We can work with that. He's a good athlete. A-man coverage. We pick again at the end of the round. Shouldn't be any problem getting one of our corners here. And Tashawn Horn was the guy with the freaky athleticism. Does have pretty bad cover scores. We also liked J.D. Polite, who we don't know as much about his cover skills. A little bit faster. We're going to take J.D. Polite. 93 speed. Can work with that. And I don't know what's going on with this Will Hayden. Our scouts like him. He's climbed quickly. I'm just going to take him and hope he's good. We might regret that, but I think him falling that far might have turned into a good value. And then I'm going to take my chances on another athletic corner. Good athleticism. Making a lot of picks this year. We could take a fullback as Mr. Irrelevant. We don't have one on the roster. I don't necessarily know where we should go here, but I like Von Tompkins. I can't tell you why, but we got ourselves a fullback. Mr. Irrelevant. Very fitting. And there's our draft. So Damian Peterson, the guard we drafted, does have 72 overall. Even if he is normal dev, he will develop nicely. He's only 21 years old. Trent Dane, who's a great athlete, has hidden dev. 71 overall. And he needs some work, but it's very doable. Matt Pickens with the hidden development is a 72 overall, 21 years old. Man, he's gonna push for starting playing time on our team. Cordell Stills, who we drafted, 61 overall. He'll be a project. J.D. Polite, not bad, 67. That tackle, the NFL is onto something here. I don't know if he'll make the team as a 5th-round pick there. 57 overall. But then Keith Claxton, not bad. Both of these corners will probably make the team. And then our fullback, not too bad either. 66 overall. So a really good draft for our Bengals. That's how you keep a dynasty alive. Let's get through the preseason. Maybe add some undrafted pickups. We have a Hall of Fame induction as soon as we can reconnect to the EA servers.
3 hours later.
And it's for Antonio Gates in a year of our tight ends kind of getting invested in here. A couple of young guys. Don't forget we took one in the 3rd round last year as well, who we're not writing off either. And then we're definitely going to want to get the focus players at some point here. But let's change these for now. I think I want to focus on Guerrero still, get that offensive line as good as possible. And then, yeah, Trent Dane seems smart. Although I'm kind of having a change of opinion there. I think I want to go Antonio Reese for the focus players. So hopefully we can add some more focus players soon with those staff points. Let's see if we can find some undrafted free agents to pick up. Maybe a running back. Actually, you know what? Puka is still available. Can we afford him? We can't. We actually might not be able to afford anybody. Not sure what happened to our cap there. I guess that was the draft. Would make sense. So we actually can't add anybody. We are strapped, cap strapped, if you will, which is fine. We got a ton of talent. We've already invested in a lot of young players that we're excited about. So that's just fine. We are going to advance to cut week then. Probably have some scenarios here of some veteran development stuff. Do got to do our scouts. And the focus not changing a ton. I think I'll get rid of the offensive line scout as our primary third level guy, I should say. And I think I'm going to go with Ted Wilkerson and take a deeper look at safety this year, because I do feel like, we have good safeties, but they're getting a little bit older, especially at strong safety with Von Bell. It's a position we want to have some better depth, so that's going to be a little bit of a scouting focus there. Let's keep rolling. No veteran scenarios this year. Kelsey's slacking, in my opinion. And Antonio Reese goes down with a broken collarbone for 5 weeks. That sucks. He has been a guy that's dealt with a lot of injuries in his Bengals career. He will be back, but that's obviously not ideal. We've got some youth that's going to have to step up, but yeah, that's a notable one for sure. We will do our upgrades and then our cuts, and then we'll be on our way. So Jackson Carman. As I said, this offensive line has come along very nicely. Carman's been a part of that. Larry Dwyer, who might have to step up this season. He's in a position battle with our other young linebacker. He gets a speed boost. That'll help. Christian Lynch being the other guy here. Jawara Cook, who might see some more playing time this year. He's up to a 70. Big bruising power back. 6'1", 240 pounds. Would be fun to see a little bit more from him this year. And then Antonio Reese, despite the injury, is getting an upgrade. We'll go slot for him. So cuts. Quarterback, we're good. It's always a good time to get a deeper look at the roster too. Running back, we got our 3. We're going to keep our rookie fullback. Wide receiver, going to have to make some cuts. I think we want to keep Quez Watkins as that deep threat, Alexander Dixon. And then an open battle. I'm glad we didn't add anybody else, because we have like 4 guys here. So we could cut all 4 of these guys. We're going to cut 3 of them. I think Steve Culver is going to make the team. Although Dudley Hopkins might actually be a better pick. Tough call. Who's a better run blocker? Culver. So sorry, Dudley. Still only 23 years old. We can't practice squad him, though, which does suck. For some reason, we can practice squad Culver, and we can't practice squad Hawkins. You know what? Yeah, screw it. We'll cut Hawkins. I wanted to be able to keep both these guys, but I think Culver is clearly the better option, so we'll keep him. And then we will practice squad the other guys we got here. At tight end, see, Uzama can still play, man. He's still got 82 speed. I think Wilcox is going to go, though, because we don't need 4 guys here and a fullback. So Wilcox getting the snip on the O-line. We'll keep Peterson. He's got the size to play tackle. We've seen teams do this. I'm going to put him at left tackle for now to kind of learn behind Teron Armstead. He's actually got pretty good pass block finesse and stuff. He's a good athlete. I think he can handle this. So he's going to get a chance to develop there behind Armstead. Because at guard, we're in pretty good shape. Jeff Adkins is right behind him. We've got, obviously, Guerrero, Smith, Thurman. Probably going to have to let, Joey Creighton here go. I don't see a spot for him on this team. I think we're going to have to practice squad Blake Morris if we can. We can't, so we'll let him go. Will Hayden, who we drafted, he's going to get practice squadded. And that means I think I'll slide Deontay Smith to right tackle, and he can be our backup right tackle. He's a good hybrid depth piece. So good-looking offensive line. We should be in good shape with the D-line. We haven't changed a ton here. Going to release Mitch Dillon. And Eric Brooks, tempting to keep. He has 74 finesse moves. We'll see if we need to keep him, or need to release him, rather. Nate McCain here has 78 power moves. Both these guys pretty good. Clearly, Henley just a better athlete in every regard. So we're going to let McCain go to the practice squad. Oh, we can't. Okay, we'll release him. I'm going to move Christian Lynch into middle linebacker. And I'll be starting Larry Dwyer. Lynch has more size to be that big middle. He actually went up in overall when we made that move. And then at corner, I think instead of cutting Marquise Truman, I'm actually going to move him to free safety. He's 6'2", 210. He's got decent block shedding. He's not great at it. But we don't have a free safety right now on the roster. And he's got a lot of speed. Smart guy out of Harvard, so I think he can handle more of the zone stuff. But he is going to obviously have to develop that with 56 zone. But I think he'll be in a better position to develop that there. Let's see, where does that leave us with cuts and stuff? I think that actually left us right on the money. Are we under 53? That put us right at 53. So good stuff. Good management. And that is going to conclude the offseason. So again, guys, we're going to do one more season here as an offline rebuild under the current format. And then we'll be turning this into a fun little play-along live series on Twitch. So I hope you guys are enjoying. Great offseason that was. Really excited to hopefully repeat here with our Bengals. Get a full season with superstar X-Factor Joe Burrow as well. Got some young players. Going to get some opportunities. Antonio Reese going down at corner. So going to get a chance to probably see Ware at corner there, which is pretty sweet. But until next time, guys, make sure you hit that like button. Drop a comment down below. And we'll see you later. Peace out.